Imagine Naomi as a Jewish Palestinian declaring that she's going to return to her war-torn and famished homeland, and we, as members of global beloved community, are like Ruth, saying, "Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go." Right? That's the truth, though. It sounds nice to be singing this song. It sounds nice to be singing this song, and we're a community that says, "Where you go, I will go, beloved." But as it relates to the ongoing war in Palestine, I wonder where we stand as a community. Now, I'm the minister, and I have my own opinions that are personal, but I don't try to make statements on behalf of the entire congregation where I don't know where you stand. And that's been kind of concerning to me because some of y'all know I had an emergency trip back to Oakland recently, and my Oakland community, shout out to them, home of the original Black Panther. Some of y'all may be familiar. Again, I have that justice in the streets fighting. We need a sign that says ceasefire now. The church in Oakland has a sign that says ceasefire now. A lot of my colleagues are with churches that are like ceasefire now. I'm not suggesting that we need to be a church that says ceasefire now, but I'm curious. Do we feel like where you go, I will go, beloved? Do we want a ceasefire sign? I'm just raising the question. I'm not making any suggestions. But I will say, to move from that particular issue, because we're talking about flags, I was talking about this big flag that I would want to have that says ceasefire now. So from that, I want to pivot. Speaking of flags, have y'all heard about the pride flag ban bill that is going through Florida legislation right now? It is HB 901 SB 1120. Have y'all heard of this? So for the folks who have not heard of it, let me say this. Many of us know that flags have historically been used to connect communities as an expression of free speech. The Pride Flag Ban Bill bans public buildings from displaying any flag that represents a political viewpoint. So even if we did want to have a banner out that says ceasefire now, perhaps they might think that's another political statement in addition to our political statement that's on the banner right now to some people saying Black Lives Matter, that trans lives matter, that LGBTQ lives matter. In this congregation, we believe these things. But now this legislation is saying if we had this out as a flag, what we kind of do, we could be going against this bill. So I'm curious, is it our religious viewpoint that Black lives matter, that LGBTQ lives matter, that women's productive rights matter, that climate justice matters, that immigrants' lives matter? And if we were to put up a flag like our street banner and we have a right to express that viewpoint, how do we feel about that being taken from us, possibly? Now, some are saying that as a religious community, and these are our religious and spiritual beliefs, these are not political statements, although they are. There shouldn't be a ban. There shouldn't be anything that means that we as a religious community can't have the sign that we have. Maybe. But if that were the case, I'm curious. How do y'all feel about standing up for that? How do y'all feel about showing up? Yeah, I see some people in the back, fist up in the air. Yes. How we feel about that? We got to show up and go against these things, not just for our church, because even if they say, all right, y'all are a religious community, y'all could keep that sign up, we ain't gonna come for you. They're doing it to our sibling nonprofit organizations that want to have up this statement that in this congregation we believe. I'm sure y'all have seen those picket signs, like the signs that some people have in front of their houses. Some organizations like Common Ground Books, some coffee shops, they have these kinds of stickers to let other, I would say liberal-minded, but I'll definitely just speak on behalf of myself as a trans person. Sometimes going into buildings and just seeing a small little thing like that in the corner lets me know, okay, I can be safe here. These people have in their hearts had that feeling, where you go, I will go, beloved. I might not be dealing with some of these issues, but I want you to know that in this bookstore, in this church, in this coffee house, we believe that love is love, Black Lives Matter, that I'll say for me, that your precious life is divine. That's what those kind of signs mean. That's what our sign on the street means, and we have to be ready to show up to say that absolutely not, we're not removing our signs, and absolutely not will any of our sibling nonprofits who are trying to promote these things. So, okay, I'll leave off that. The other thing that I want to use this opportunity while we're talking about justice to mention is, have y'all heard about the criminalizing sex education bill, HB 1135? Have y'all heard about that? I know Andre is one of our child care workers and does a lot of work in the community. Aren't you a social worker as well? Now he's a sex educator. And I think that Andre, as well as members of our religious education, have been working on having a new OWL program and a flash program that specifically deals in sex education. And what this bill would do is it confuses what grooming, because they say that if you want to teach sex education in schools and things like that, oh my gosh, you're grooming the kids to be... I hate the rhetoric around it. Things like, oh, you're making them into be pedophiles. It's what legislators will have you think, that because you're talking to youth about how to protect themselves, how to understand their gender identity. There's this thinking that to teach kids about it is to somehow pollute their minds, where really we're trying to empower and help develop their young minds and to know their options and all of that. So again, this is another bill to keep your eye on. I am hoping that the side with love, and so let me just say this. I met with a community member, Juan Reza, who is interested in restarting. This church community has had a very, very active role in justice movements. I just learned this morning that those from the environmental group are still doing work of justice in the community. But as a new minister, I don't know what all of y'all are doing for your works for justice. So I reached out to someone who kept reaching out to me and asking, hey, what are we doing about this? What are we doing about this? Why are we not making a statement about this? Why are we not making a statement about this? I'm like, whoa, Juan. Juan, my friend. If you want this community to have a stance on these things, how about you help us get together to get these opinions? And so the only guidance that I ask is, like, because I don't know what your thinking may be, the guidelines I'm going to give you is, let's work with this Side with Love framework. Some of y'all know this month, we've since January 15th, since MLK's Day of Observance, we've been having the 30 Days of Love with the larger UUA organization, which you can Google 30 Days of Love or Side with Love to find out where we are in that campaign to get involved in that. But hopefully soon this church will have a connection with the Side with Love Justice campaign. For anyone who's interested, please email me so I can connect us with Juan. And for one of the first activities, it will be hopefully getting together and looking at all of the bills that we should keep an eye on, and possibly, now this will be tied to the announcements that's coming soon because I'm about to wrap up, of having at the Winterfest a booth, a table to educate not only our community but outside community who I hope to be drawing in, for them to be educated on the bills that are going through legislation that maybe we want to keep our eyes on, and that us as a church community want to help people in the local community keep their eyes on. So I know I've said a lot. And I want to end my time of speaking with sharing a spoken word poem that I wrote a couple of years ago at the it wasn't, I don't want to call it the height of the pandemic, but there were some connections that I feel with this spoken word piece to what's happening now. And so I'm going to close my time with sharing that. And then we will have, I'll make very few announcements and then turn it over to our worship associate to make some announcements. So the spoken word piece, some of y'all might have heard me share it. It's called This Isn't the First Time. Have y'all heard me share This Isn't the First Time before? Is anybody? No? Oh, good. So this will be y'all first time. Okay. Let me make sure my Facebook fam, since they have not heard me do it either, let me make sure they can see me too. And I thank y'all so much for allowing me to connect our services also to Facebook, social media. I'm trying to do more to promote our worship and to get people to know like what it's like inside of here. Yes, thank you. Yay. So I'm very, very grateful for that. And again, please, y'all, keep telling people about what we're doing here so that we can get more people. And shout out to Bob Keenan. I'm sorry, I just saw you over here. And I'm saying that because I know that Bob has been instrumental with making certain connections with the NAACP. If I had saw him previously, I probably would have asked him to speak with our Share the Plate. So it's good to see you, Bob. This isn't the first time we faced war, disease, systemic violence, and preventable death with brown and queer people bearing the brunt. This isn't the first time the government has given financial bailout to corporations and rich nations instead of households, supposed yet unseen economic health over human beings in the forefront. This isn't the first time leaders lacking compassion and competence have torn apart families and deepened our country's divide. This isn't the first time that well-meaning white folks have witnessed disproportionate suffering among non-whites, and yet we still acting surprised. This isn't the first time capitalists have exploited and profited off the war, famine, the sick, disabled, elderly, and poor people's pain. This isn't the first time religious extremists have used global crisis as a reason to curse and damn the most marginalized in God's name. But the God I know is all loving, and this won't be the last time that divine healing stimulates divine power stimulates world healing and a triumphant world turnaround. This won't be the last time collective hope, faith reaching back through generations will be needed to plant our futures on solid ground. This won't be the last time that our individual voices, our individual votes, individual efforts will contribute to making justice true across every land. And this won't be the last time that our physical distance encouraged us to reach out with our hearts and minds instead of our hands. This is the energy that I'm sending to our siblings in Palestine. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. Where you lie, I will lie, beloved. Where you lie, I will lie. Your people are my people. Your people are mine. Your people are my people. My divine, your divine. Thank you. Thank you all so much.